Maybe you thought you were done with this. That feeling, that heaviness, that weight that makes everything harder than it should be. And then it came back. You might be sitting with that now. The disappointment, the confusion, the quiet fear that maybe you didn't make as much progress as you thought. Maybe you're wondering if the better days were real, or if this feeling right here is what's actually true. It's okay if you're tired. It's okay if you don't want to hear anything hopeful or encouraging right now. You could just be here with whatever this is. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes with struggling again. It's not just the struggle itself. It's the feeling that you should be past this by now, that you've already done this part, that you shouldn't have to do it again. And underneath that, maybe there's shame, the quiet belief that other people figure this out, and you can't, that you're the one who keeps slipping back. If that's where you are, you're not alone. Even though it feels like you are, you don't have to feel okay about being here. You don't have to see this as a learning opportunity or a chance to grow. Sometimes it's just hard, and that's all it needs to be. You might notice something tightening when you think about where you are. A closing down, a pulling away, something inside that says, not this again. There's a voice maybe, one that sounds disappointed, one that wonders what you did wrong, or what you missed, or why you're back here. That voice might say you should have known better, should have tried harder, should be further along than this. And it's not just the struggle itself that's heavy. It's the feeling around the struggle, the sense that you failed at something you were working so hard to do. You might have pictured recovery as a line, straight, moving up, each day a little lighter than the one before. And when you dip, when the old feelings return, the line feels like a lie. Like maybe you misunderstood how this was supposed to work. There's something cruel about that. Not just that you're struggling, but that you let yourself believe it could be different. That you trusted the good days to last. Now hope feels risky, like something that might hurt you again. You might be pulling back. From people, from trying, from the idea that things could feel better. Because if it didn't last before, why would it last this time? That pulling back, it's not giving up. It's protecting yourself. It's your way of saying, I can't take another disappointment. You might be searching for where it went wrong, replaying moments, trying to find a mistake, the thing you could have caught earlier or handled differently, or stopped before it got this far. But the searching just makes you more tired, more convinced that if you'd been smarter, more careful, more aware, you wouldn't be here. And maybe there's a fear that someone will notice you're struggling again, that they'll see you and think, I thought they were past this. So you keep it quiet. You wait. You tell yourself you'll reach out when you're doing better, when you have something more hopeful to share. Inside, there's this constant measuring. Am I worse today? Am I better? How long can I hold this together before someone sees? And the voice keeps saying you're failing, that you've undone everything, that you're right back where you started. But you're not back where you started, even if it feels identical, even if your body recognizes this place. The struggle feels the same, but you're carrying more now, more knowledge, more awareness. Even if you can't see it yet, it's not just the difficulty that's exhausting. It's the shame about the difficulty, having to carry both at once. Maybe you learned early that progress was supposed to look a certain way. Linear, steady, always forward. You might have watched someone struggle, and when they stumbled, people got quieter, or they stopped mentioning it, or they seemed frustrated. And you learned, without anyone saying it, that setbacks weren't part of the plan, that going backward meant something was wrong. The stories you heard had neat endings. Someone struggled, got help, got better, done, finished, moving on. No one talked about what happened after, when the old patterns came back, when the work seemed to disappear overnight. So when it happened to you, you didn't know what to call it. Maybe failure, maybe proof that you weren't strong enough, that whatever change you felt wasn't real. You looked around and everyone else seemed fine, or they seemed like they were pretending to be fine, and you couldn't tell which. There's a loneliness in that, feeling like you're the only one who keeps circling back, like everyone else learned the rules, and you're still confused. Maybe you told someone once that you were struggling again, and they meant well. But what they said was, "Again, I thought you were past that." And in that moment, you learned something. To keep it quieter, to wait longer, to only share the good parts, the upward parts, the parts people could celebrate. You learned that people have patience for the first struggle, maybe the second, but after that, you're supposed to have figured it out. The message was clear, even unspoken. Occasional struggles are understandable, but repeated difficulty, that's different. That's on you. And maybe you started believing it, that other people's frustration made sense, that you were asking too much, that you should have learned this already. There's a specific shame in struggling with the same things over and over. It's not just a struggle, it's feeling stuck, like you're not learning, like you're failing a test everyone else passed. You've had moments of feeling genuinely better, moments where you thought, this is it, this is what being okay feels like, and you relaxed into that. You believed it, and when the heaviness returned, it wasn't just the return of the heaviness. It was the collapse of that belief. The thought that maybe there is no okay. Maybe this is just how it is. Better, then worse, then better, then worse. No resolution. That's a hard thing to sit with. Not just that you're struggling now, but that you might always be struggling. That the relief was temporary and the weight is permanent. And once that thought takes hold, every setback confirms it. Every return of old feelings proves it. You're not getting better. You're just having breaks between the hard parts. But what if that's not quite true? What if the hard parts coming back doesn't mean the better parts weren't real? What if both can be true at once? What if this isn't failure? What if your body, your nervous system, your brain, what if they're doing exactly what they learned to do? When you survive something hard, you learn how to survive it deeply. In your body, in your reflexes, in the parts of you that don't need permission to protect you. Those patterns don't just go away because you decided you don't need them anymore. They stay, they wait, and when things get overwhelming, they come back. Not because you're failing, but because your system is trying to keep you safe the only way it knows. The heaviness you feel, it's not proof you haven't changed. It's proof your body remembers. It's still trying to protect you. And the shame, that's not weakness. That's part of the old pattern too. The belief that survival meant being perfect, that any slip meant danger. The setback isn't failure. It's information. Your system telling you something. Maybe that you're exhausted. Maybe that something in your life is asking more than you have right now. It's not that you're broken. It's that you're carrying something heavy. And sometimes the weight is too much to carry alone. These patterns, the ones that feel like going backward, they were smart ones. They kept you alive. They got you through something unbearable. And they're still trying to do that, even when you don't need them anymore. Even when they cause more problems than they solve. That's not a flaw. That's how survival works. Efficient, automatic, hard to update. Your brain learned that the world wasn't safe, that you had to stay on guard. It built protections. Distance maybe, numbness, hypervigilance, whatever kept you from being hurt again. And those protections worked. They got you through. But now things are different, and your brain hasn't caught up yet. It's still running the old program, still treating everything like a threat. When the old feelings return, when the old ways of coping resurface, that's not you failing to change. That's your nervous system doing what it was trained to do. And changing that, it's not about trying harder, or being more disciplined, or wanting it badly enough. It requires your system to feel safe enough to let go of the old protections. And safety doesn't happen because you force it. It builds slowly, with time, with consistency. So when the patterns come back, it's not because you failed. It's because your system is using what it knows. What kept you safe before? Learning something new takes time. More time than anyone tells you. More time than feels fair. The setback isn't proof you're not healing. It's part of healing. It's a chance to see what you're working with. What patterns are still there? What needs more attention? You're not going backward. You're circling, coming back to something familiar, but with more awareness now, more understanding. And maybe you notice something different this time. Not in how you feel, that might be the same, but in how you hold it, what you know about it, how you talk to yourself while you're in it. That difference, even if it's small, even if it's hard to see, that's the change. That's proof you're not in the exact same place. You're in a similar place, a familiar place, but you're carrying more now, more awareness, more compassion, maybe, more understanding that this won't last forever, even when it feels like it will. You don't have to fix this right now. You don't have to figure out what went wrong, or what you should do differently, or how to stop it from happening again. You could just be here. If you need to rest, rest. If you need to pull back from people, from plans, from expectations, you can. There's no schedule you have to follow. The pressure to be better, to be recovered, to be done, that pressure isn't helping. It's just making everything heavier. You're allowed to be exactly where you are, even if it feels like a place you shouldn't be anymore. You don't have to be grateful for this. You don't have to see it as a lesson or a gift or an opportunity. Sometimes it's just hard. That's all. You don't owe anyone a silver lining. If you're angry, be angry. If you're scared, be scared. If you're so tired you can barely think, that's okay. You don't have to perform recovery. You don't have to prove you're trying hard enough. You don't have to show anyone that you're making progress. You can just be, with all the mess, all the confusion, all the exhaustion. This doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean you're not strong enough. It doesn't mean you're not trying. It means you're human. And being human is hard, especially when you're carrying things that feel too heavy to hold. You don't have to have answers. You don't have to know what comes next. You don't have to be okay. The people who really care about you, the safe ones, they don't need you to be fixed. They don't need you to be better. They just need you to be you, even when you're struggling. If you can't believe that right now, that's okay. You don't have to believe anything. There's no deadline, no expiration on your worth, no point where you become too much or too broken. You're allowed to take your time, to move slowly, to stop, to rest, to come back to places you thought you'd left. That's not failure. That's being alive. Maybe you're worried that if you stop pushing, things will get worse, that you'll lose whatever ground you've been holding. But sometimes the pushing is what's draining you. The constant checking, the constant measuring, the constant worry about whether you're better or worse than yesterday. What if you could stop for a moment? Just right now. Not forever. Just for now. What if you could let yourself be where you are without fighting it? That's not giving up. That's giving yourself a break. A moment to breathe. You don't have to pretend this doesn't hurt. You don't have to minimize it. You don't have to act like it's fine. It does hurt. You're allowed to feel that. And feeling it doesn't make it worse. It doesn't mean you're stuck in it. It just means you're being honest. There's relief in that honesty, in stopping the performance, in just existing as you are. If your body is tired, listen. If your mind is overwhelmed, honor that. You don't have to override yourself. You can slow down. You can rest. You can leave things undone. The world will keep going, and you'll still be here, doing what you can with what you have. That's enough. More than enough. If you're still here, notice where you are right now. Notice what's around you. The sounds, maybe. The temperature of the air. The feeling of whatever you're sitting or lying on. You don't have to do anything with that information. You can just notice it, just for a moment. Your body has been carrying you through this. Even when it felt heavy, even when it felt impossible. It's been breathing for you, keeping your heart beating, holding you together when everything else felt like it was falling apart. That's not nothing. That's everything. The setback you're experiencing, the one that brought you here, or the one you're afraid of, or the one you're recovering from, it doesn't define you. It doesn't erase the work you've done. It doesn't prove that you're not capable. It doesn't mean you're going to feel this way forever. It's just a moment. One moment in a longer story. A story that's still being written. You learn to survive something, and that learning is still in you. The patterns that feel like going backward, they're proof of how hard you work to stay alive. How intelligent your system was in keeping you safe. That intelligence is still there. It's not gone. It's just trying to figure out how to work in a world where the old rules don't apply anymore. And that takes time. More time than you want it to. More time than feels fair. But you have time, even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when every day feels urgent and exhausting and too much. You have time to figure this out, to rest, to try again, to let yourself be exactly where you are without rushing toward where you think you should be. Nothing is required of you right now. Not optimism, not gratitude, not hope, not even the belief that things will get better. You can just be here, now, with whatever is true for you in this moment. And if what's true is that you're tired, or scared, or disappointed, or lost, that's okay. You don't have to change it. You don't have to fix it. You can just let it be. Let yourself be. The journey isn't linear. It never was. And that's not because you're doing it wrong. That's because healing isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. Sometimes you pass through the same feelings again. Sometimes you revisit the same struggles. But each time you do, you're different. You know more. You survive more. You carry more wisdom, even if you can't feel it right now. The setback isn't the end of your story. It's just another chapter. One that's hard. One that you didn't choose. But one that you're moving through. And you don't have to move through it alone. Even if it feels lonely right now. Even if you can't imagine reaching out. There are people who understand. Who have been where you are. Who know what it's like to feel like you're failing at something you're trying so hard to do. You're not failing. You're surviving. And survival is enough. If you need to stop listening now, that's okay. If you need to rest, or cry, or just sit in the quiet for a while, do that. There's nothing you need to take from this. Nothing you need to remember or apply or fix. You're already doing enough. Just by being here, just by breathing, just by continuing. Your journey is yours. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to follow a timeline. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. And wherever you are in it right now, whether you're struggling, or resting, or trying again, or just trying to get through the day, that's exactly where you need to be. There's no rush, no pressure, no expectation that you'll be different tomorrow than you are today. You could just be here, now, exactly as you are. And that is enough. You've always been enough, even in the moments when you couldn't see it, even in the moments when it felt impossible to believe. The setback didn't change that. Nothing can change that. You are enough, right now, as you are.